If you're struggling right now, if you're struggling right now, this episode is for you. So stay till the end because you're not going to want to miss this story. It's story time today, but not one of my stories. I have an amazing guest for you. His name is Paul Lamar Hunter. He has the most impressive story of overcoming the odds. And if you are feeling low right now, if you're feeling like you don't know how you're going to make it, you don't know how your life is going to shift, you just need something to give you that motivation, that inspiration, that just push to make it to the next level, then you need to stay tuned. Okay. Without further ado, let's just jump right into it. I'm going to bring him on. Hi, welcome to Hot Topics Live podcast.
Hey, thank you for bringing me on as a guest. I am so excited to share my story on your platform. And I just hope that the words that I share tonight will encourage your listeners to take their game. It could be spiritually, it could be financially, it could be academically, it could be mentally to the next level.
I feel that, and I'm here for all of it. So let me just dive right in because I know that you are an author. I know that you are a speaker. I know you do all of these things to help people just see what the possibilities are, like that they're unlimited and that you've lived that. So you're the 19th child, like the 19th child. Okay, that says enough. So take me to where your story begins. I want to hear all of it because I want to hear how you start, you know, as the 19th child in poverty and just push yourself through to success.
Well, it started with my father and also with my mother. My mother is so amazing, just like my father. She birthed 21 children by my dad, 17 of us living today, 65 grandchildren, and 87 great grandchildren. So you have to understand that, my mom and dad was having a lot of sex. And I'm being blunt with you. It was a lot of sex. And if you do the math, my mother stayed pregnant for 15 straight years.
Bless
So
her
what I'm
soul.
so what I'm trying to say is that my father was laying the pipe and my mother was getting a delight. That's it.
No lies told with 21 children. I do not know how she stayed pregnant for that. Like, I could barely do it twice. I have 9 years in between my kids. I don't know how she could be pregnant for straight years. Did she have postpartum? Like, how did she do that?
You got to understand that it takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of faith to birth 21 children. And my mother used to always tell us when we were young, whatever the Lord gives her, she's going to be happy with. So the Lord told her, I'm going to give you 21 children, and that's it. And so 21 children is what my mother birthed. And my mother, if she was alive today, she would tell you she never complained and she was never ashamed to talk about how she birthed 21 children because it gives mothers that might be struggling with one or two or three or four or five kids hope that if a woman can birth 21 children and just go through the struggle, the different attitudes that she was dealing with my siblings, that is enough right there that can run you crazy or make you want to pull out your hair. But, my mother and father did the best job possible. That's why I tell people that when you have parents, understand this: they cannot give what they don't have. So my mother and father, yes, they made mistakes. They were not perfect, but you know what? They did the best job that was possible. Whatever life had given them, the cards was dealt to them. They just played it out with no complaints, with no excuses. That's the reason why. I praise my father and mother. And matter of fact, this is Black History Month. So I want to give a shout out to my parents, even though they passed away, but they deserve to be mentioned in Black History Month. James Hunter and my mother, Louise Hunter, they did a fantastic job. 10 boys, 11 girls. So if
Whew.
you look at the 10 boys and 11 girls, you can say to yourself, God damn, that's a basketball team.
Mm-hmm.
That's a
Yeah.
football team. That's a hockey team right there. So that's what you basically had in the Hunter family.
Wow. So give me a day. Give me like what was one day in the life like growing up for you?
But let me say this. It was like this. Monday through Friday, we went to school. Wednesday nights, it was Bible studies night. Thursday night, it was choir practice. And the Hunter family, we had our own choir. So some
Uh-oh, you're breaking up a little bit. I hope he comes back soon because I can't imagine what it was like growing up with 21 kids. Let me tell you, when I tell you that I have two and just dealing with their different personalities, one being 20 and one or 19 going on 20 and one being 10 going on 11. I just can't even imagine like what it would have been like to have so many different personalities as a mother, let alone doing that pregnant because she was obviously constantly pregnant, right? And then having to manage all of these children and not having like when you have 21 children, like I just think about the expense of that too, not even just the emotional aspect of raising all these kids and then all the different personalities and then coordinating school and coordinating these activities he was just talking about that they were doing or sports or like all of those things. I can't even imagine that. I just can't. And that's one of the reasons why I really wanted to hear this story because in my family we grew up poor and we had to overcome those obstacles of growing up in poverty, right? I grew up in West Philly. My family started in the projects. Like we had to overcome those odds. And eventually we did. But like growing up like that is really difficult with only four. So I can't imagine 21. So it looks like we've got the technical difficulties sorted out and we're back. So you were telling us what a week was like in your household.
Yeah, so what I was trying to convey is that Thursday night was choir practice for
Mhm.
the Hunter family, and but on Saturdays it was basically preparation, getting prepared for Sunday meal. So my older siblings, they were responsible for helping dad and mom prepare the meal, the Sunday meal. So around 7 o'clock at night, mom and dad would start preparing for Sunday meals. And my older siblings was in the kitchen with my father and my mother helping out. Because mom and dad used to always tell us that one day you're going to have to leave this house. And so we're going to prepare you how to cook, how to clean, and how to take care of yourself. Because one day we must leave this world. So they would help my older siblings. My older siblings will constantly be in that kitchen learning how to cook. And so Sunday mornings, they would get us up at 6 o'clock in the morning. And while we up at 6 o'clock in the morning, they will, they will allow us because we only had three restrooms in the house, so we were taking a shower, and they gave us 15 minutes to take a shower so we can start, preparing to go to church. By 10 o'clock, we were exiting out of that door. Um, 15 minutes later, we in church. But mom and dad will always leave one person behind because at 11 o'clock, she will make sure that the older brother or the older sister was left behind to start warming up the food. And so while we were at church, it was always one somebody that stayed behind to start warming up that food. So when mom and dad get home, and the food to be prepared and ready to go. But we would go to church on Sundays. We would have us a good time. And what's interesting, after church, we will all go back home. We had two station wagons, like the Brady Bunch,
I
and
was going to ask that.
we had one van, and we would just load on up in the two station wagon in the van, and we would just head to church, and after church we'll go back home. And we always had a visitor at our house on Sunday. If it wasn't the pastor, the head pastor, it was the pastor's assistant, and they will stop by every Sunday because they like to rotate, and pastors like to eat. So they always came to our house and sat at the table and eat with us and pray with us, and we just had us a good time. But that's a typical day. But mom and dad did a great job of raising us on how to be productive men and women in society.
So financially, how did they survive with so many kids? Like when did they, oh, okay, let me back up. When did they start their family? What year?
I cannot recall the year, but mom started having children when she was 16 and a half. And so mom and dad met on the cotton fields in Vicksburg, Mississippi. So they started having kids right away. And so, and it continued.
So I'm guessing this was like mid 1900s, like
It was probably in the,
1960s.
because my my mother was born in 1934, June 14,
Ah,
1934.
okay. So now I'm getting a
Mhm.
time frame here. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you do the math, so she probably started having kids in 34, what 44, probably in 1950s. You
hmm
understand when she
So
started
mid
having
1900s.
children?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
okay. So now that we know the time frame, okay, that this started, where she started having her 21 kids. Um, okay, so that time in the United States, if you know your history, was after World War II, and
yes,
it was more economically, the economy was booming. We were post-war. It was like the American quote unquote dream time period, right?
yes.
For most of America, like in general. So what was the financial situation like for you guys if they met in the fields in Mississippi? Like, how did the family evolve financially?
Well, I tell you what, when they had met and they started having children at a young age, uh, mom was what 16 and a half, dad was like 17 and a half. And so when they started to have kids, they was working on the cotton fields and they saved up as much money as possible. And they made their way up north to
Mhm,
Racine, Wisconsin. And that's
mhm,
when my father took a job at Case Manufacturing, and he used to build tractors. And then from there, he found another job working for Bale City. So my father worked first shift and second shift. He was working 16 hours a day while my mother worked part time. And it was my older siblings' responsibilities to look out for the home and to look out for the young ones. And so my mom and dad never complained um, about their job. And also, you got to look at that the community was totally different compared to the community what you see today. And
mhm.
so Mrs. Johnson, Mrs. Jones, the Smith family, they all played a significant role in making sure that the task was done while my parents was at work, and made sure that we were fed, especially my older siblings. They did a good job making sure that we were fed, making sure that we did homework every day, and made sure that we stayed out of trouble.
Wow, that's amazing. Right? Like it's extraordinary. So a little bit about me. Like I was just saying while you were fixing your tech stuff that I grew up in Philadelphia, right? There were four of us. Okay, but granted this was the 80s, 90s time period. And we our family started when my mom was 16 too. Uh and they lived in the projects in West Philly and rose themselves out of there. My dad was a musician, and he had got some royalties for some songs he helped write for a band that got very famous. Maybe you heard of them. They're called the Delphonics, and so they that's how they rose themselves out of poverty to begin with, right? But so I can't imagine trying to do that with 21 kids. It sounds almost like to me, it sounds almost like you would have a sort of a middle class kind of lifestyle with your parents working so much. And but with so many kids, I don't know how the money stretches. Right?
Well, I tell you what, the money did stretch back in them days because mom and dad was very conservative. But I have to say this: it's the community that always
Mm,
came to the Hunter family needs. When we were down and
wow.
out, it was always people, unexpected people knocking on the door during Thanksgiving, during Christmas time, always leaving something on the porch for the Hunter family. It could be food, it could be clothes, it could be toys, it could be money, it was gifts. You understand? It was just people that was kind to the Hunter family because they knew our struggle. Even the people that lived on our block, they will also come by the house and drop stuff off for the Hunter family because they knew how big our family were and they did not want us to struggle. Yes, we had some struggling time, but the community was behind us 100%. That's the reason why I always give praise to the city of Racine, Wisconsin, and the people that always came to our aid. So in my book, No Love, No Charity, The Success of the 19th Child, I always talk about the community because if it wasn't for the community, I wouldn't be here today speaking with you.
Truly. Okay. So I was thinking when you were talking about your family and how your day went. So one of the things that it reminded me of in my life was when I went to boarding school. And in the boarding school, I lived in the house with 16 girls. So this is the closest. So I'm like, okay, it was sounding really familiar. It makes me think of how organized you have to be to manage a household and how the older kids help the younger ones, and you learn so much from the older kids in the house, and they look out for you and take care of you. And I was thinking about the chores that you guys all did and the importance of how your parents wanted to prepare you for life so that you could, the boys and the girls, to cook, to clean, to take care of yourselves, because they knew that one day you would have to be on your own. I mean, it's the same kind of concept that I had in private school, in Milton Hershey School, which is the same stuff that they instilled in us. So I just think that that's so amazing that your parents had um that kind of grounded parental energy, like that guidance that they came through with to show you how to be as an adult. And another thing that strikes me is the community aspect and how it does just take a village to raise even one child, and how your whole community came together to help all of you as you were growing up. So, when you got old enough to leave home because you'd been around all of these people and had this amazing community, what was it like for you to branch out of that? Like how did you end up being able to leave the home?
I tell you what, I have to be honest. It was very difficult for me to leave the home, especially from your mother. And I didn't leave home, to be honest, until I was like 24, 25 years old. I stayed at home with my mother. And so, my mother used to always say this, that her last three children, they can always come back home. so, and she, if I had to do it all over again, and my mom was alive today, I would probably be at home with my mother right down to this day. But she and my father did a good job, so I can't complain. But it was hard for me to leave my mother and branch out and become a father and live my own life. But I did always stayed in contact with my mother, and even making the transition from leaving the state of Wisconsin and coming to San Antonio, Texas, with my children and with the mother of my children at that particular time. It was very hard because all of my resources was there, and I thought that I couldn't make it, you know, without my mother, without my siblings. But I did a
Wow.
great job. So it was a blessing. Looking back on it, it made me a better man to branch out and start my own thing. Yes.
So, when did you decide to write your book? What was that
Well,
journey like from leaving home to becoming a published author?
the journey was like working at Chrysler engine plant, and then you get a notice that the plant is going to be closing, and it
Oh.
will be heading to Mexico. And at that particular time, I was
Oh.
like, okay, they're going to move to Mexico. And so I said, well, I got to go to this union meeting to see what's going on. And at the union meeting, they had stated that if you want to get retraining uh, when it comes to education, Chrysler Engine Plant has a fund that will fund you to go back to school or get recertified. And so I decided to go back to college. I said, you know what, I'm gonna go to college, because I already had my associate's degree. And before I talk about this story, what's interesting is that I graduated with my associate's degree in 2005,
Mhm.
and this was in 2008 where I attended my church, and they had a bishop there, and the bishop was laying hands on people, and so everybody got in the line. I got in the line, and I never forget this is because it sets the stage for the change that was coming. The bishop laid his hands on me, but he said to me, "You want to go back to college, but you don't have the finances to go back to college. God is going to make a way where your tuition, all of your books, everything will be paid." All right. This was like in 2008. 2 years later, Chrysler closed the plant to move to Mexico. So I went to the union meeting. In the union meeting, they was talking about fundings for us to get retrained or go to college, and they will pay for it. Do you know Chrysler Engine Plant paid for my education? So I decided to go back to college up at Iowa University, and that was in 2010 when I went to college. And it was strange because I had to look at my father's lineage and look at my mother lineage to get motivation, to get that motivation to be the first to graduate from college. So looking back at their lineage, I discovered that no one completed college. No one completed college. So I decided, you know what, I'm gonna go back and I'm going to become the person to lay the foundation that education is important, that if you have an opportunity to go to college, take it and take advantage of it. So, um, They paid for all my books, tuition. I went to college, Upper Iowa University. I graduated in 2012 with a Bachelor of Science in Business Administration from Upper Iowa University. And so I laid that foundation. And I am delighted to lay that foundation because a lot of my nephews and nieces and cousins and relatives went on to receive their bachelor's degree and their master's degree. And I have a nephew right now that has a PhD degree. So I'm just excited to lay the foundation and to tell the world that a guy that come from the inner city that has been beaten up mentally, spiritually, and physically can make it. You can also make it as well.
That's amazing. I mean, I definitely know when my sister graduated with her master's degree, I sat there and I said, you know what? I'm going to do it too. And I did. So I definitely understand the importance of being able to see someone that you know do something that you before that you might not have thought was possible. And so it can happen for you, right? Like you can, and whether it's college or whether it's, I also went to the military, whether it's that, when you get to someone sets an example for you that's so powerful, it does open doors. That is a huge deal to be the first person in your family to graduate from college. That's enormous.
Yes, it's a blessing, and I tell you what, I thank God for you. I thank God for all the newspaper publications, magazine publications that you know read my story and say, you know what, I want to interview this guy. This guy has a story. I really thank the people for giving me an opportunity to come on that platform. Even Tom Joyner, even Ebony Magazine, even though Ebony Magazine told me no. But you know
Mhm.
what? They came back and they said yes. Why? Because they was looking for a title to fit my story. Isn't that interesting?
Wow. That is
The lady,
interesting.
yeah, the lady told me, she said, we were looking for a title to fit your story. So the title that they gave me was Rooted in Drama. So people might
Wow.
be rooted in adversity, rooted in drama, rooted in a bad relationship, rooted in a bad marriage. You can come out on top and you can change the paradigm because you've been at the bottom and now you're at the top. So, yes, I was rooted in drama, but look at me today. I have one of the biggest smiles on my face. And I tell people all the time, I went against the odds.
And that's true. I mean, when you grow up and you face economic challenges, right? It can seem like there's no way out of that. For me, I was lucky. I got a chance. I had an academic acceptance into a private school that changed my trajectory of my life, right? But not everyone has that fall into their lap. Sometimes you have got to first see a way forward, like believe you can change the narrative. Just because what you were born into doesn't have to be where you stay in life. So at some point,
Mhm.
you have to take these chances. Like you took this chance and decided, you know what, I'm gonna go back to school. You decided, okay, you know what? I might have grown up with challenges, but there was such an upside to the amount of love that you had in your family and community, right? And that gave you that foundation to be able to push yourself through. So, what would you say to people who might be facing economic challenges, right? It's a tough time right now for everybody. So, what would you say to people, maybe the young people or just anyone who's having a tough moment in their life and they're rooted in drama right this moment? What advice would you give them?
I think the best advice that I would tell them is to have a positive attitude and know that you are a winner. and cultivate an attitude that I would never give up. And keep in mind that your purpose is always bigger than your circumstances. And see, once you have that in your mind that your purpose is bigger than your circumstances, you taking yourself to the next level. That's what people need to do. Is have a take those words. My purpose is bigger than my circumstances. I used to say that all the time. It got into my spirit. It got into my subconscious mind. Depression left, anxiety left, because I knew that my purpose was bigger than my circumstances. And each time I said that, each day it got better, it got better, it got better. And resources started to come. God began to send people into my life to cultivate me, to develop me, to make me the man that he desired me to be in this society.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So, what would you say to people who just who don't have that kind of faith?
I think the best thing that I would say with them is the people that don't have the faith, surround yourself with some winners. Surround yourself with people that have a higher faith. Surround yourself with people that's going to assist you, build you up, and not tear you down. That's what people need. Because all you need is, like the Bible says, a little mustard seed of faith. That's all you need. And a lot of people need that today to get by. If they can just surround themselves with a lot of positive men and women, they will prosper. Their mindset will change, their attitude will change, the outlook on life will change for them.
Wow, that's powerful. Do you know what I think would be amazing right now? I know you have
Yes.
your book with you. It would be incredible. Is there maybe a couple of a passage you wouldn't mind reading
Oh,
from the book?
yeah. Yeah. You know what? I'm glad that you said that because it resonate what we have been talking about, because there are a lot of people that are struggling today. And I remember a time that when I was coaching basketball, and we had beat this team in the regular season. And when we beat the
Uh-oh. It looks like
team,
we might have lost you. Well, we know he's having a little bit of technical difficulties today, so we'll be patient with them
time
while we
by
while
God.
we wait. Oh, there you are. You're going in and out, Paul.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I didn't know
So
that.
we lost your camera, but I can hear you now.
Okay. But I said that what I was saying is that there is something that I would like to read, because it sets everything up for people that might be struggling in life. And I want to tell them, like I told my kids when I was coaching basketball and we were in the championship game, and we beat this team in the regular season by 18. But when we got to the championship game, I had a I had one of my superstars walk up to me and said, "Coach, we're gonna beat this team like we did before." And I told him, I said, "Not today. Today is the day that we will win by 1, 2, or 3 points." And he said, "Why you say that, coach?" I said, "Because this team is over prepared for us. They know what we are going to do, and they are over prepared. So we need to be very, very careful." Let me tell you this. And we were down 7 points in the, no, we were down 9 points in the first quarter, 7 points in the second quarter. Halftime, we were down 7 points. The third quarter, down 7 points. The fourth quarter, down 7 points. 2 minutes remaining in the game. We were down 7 points. I took a timeout. I told myself it's time for a timeout. So I know sometime in life people are struggling, but it's time for a time out. And I told my kids this in that time out. And I want every man and woman to listen to what I say. It's time for a time out because this is your opportunity. This is your moment to come back to shock the world. This is your time. This is our time. Let's go out and win it. And guess what? We came back and won the game with 2 minutes left, down by 7 by 1 point. So sometime in life, people, you have to take a time out. You have to take a time out. Why? Because you need to inhale and exhale. No matter what you're going through in life, bad relationship, struggling on the job, take a time out because it can help you to process your thoughts. And if I didn't take that time out, guess what? It wouldn't be mentioned in this book, but it is mentioned in this book. Sometimes you have to take a time out so that way you can become a better person.
I mean, wow, that's just really powerful. I really appreciate that message because sometimes, we can feel very overwhelmed when we're trying so hard to achieve a goal or to change our life or whatever we want to accomplish. And it can be really, really difficult, you know. And sometimes you just need to take a minute. You just need to take a minute. Oh, okay. I need to shout out one of the viewers today that's making a lot of rude comments that I see. And I know that you want some attention. So I'm going to give it to you right now. Okay. This platform is a safe space for people who are compassionate and kind. If that is not you, you should leave. Okay. I know that you want some attention and you have been watching this podcast the entire time so you can make these comments. And I hope that does something really special for you. I hope that you find what you need in life to heal your heart so that you can show up as a better version of yourself in the world. I am going to pray for you because I can see that you're in pain, because only the people who are in pain would come on someone else's platform and try to take a moment where someone's sharing something so beautiful, so kind, and so uplifting and have to talk shit. Okay? So, thank you for your comments. It does help the platform. It does help the algorithm. I really appreciate that. And I really appreciate you watching this whole time and commenting. I am praying for your soul. I am praying for you. I hope that you find the healing you need to be able to use this message that my guest is so kindly sharing today and apply it to your life and become a better person. So, with that said, I want to give you a minute. I would love to have your camera back. Would love to see your face again, Paul. So, if you can take a second to maybe exit out and come back in so that we can get a visual on you again, I would love to talk to you about your speaking and how you uplift people in person with your speaking. That would be amazing. And while you do that, I just want to tell everyone who's been watching this whole time, thank you so much for watching Hot Topics Live podcast. I do this it's my hobby podcast, and I love to share people's stories with you. I love to share things that are uplifting and just can add some value to your life, because I believe that you are amazing. I believe you deserve to live your best life possible, and this podcast aims to help you do just that. So, if you've gotten something out of this episode so far, please, please, please like, share, and subscribe, and share this with someone who might resonate with Paul's message or might be interested in reading his book. So that's what I wanted to share with you. I really appreciate your time. Time is the one thing that you can't get back, and it's really valuable. And so the fact that you've spent it here with me and with Paul means so much to me. So I really, really appreciate you. And for those of you who um, don't have anything nice to say, well, I feel sorry for you. And like I said, I hope that, you know, you will find what you need in life to be a better person. Maybe if you watch more episodes of the podcast, you'll find something that will help you do that. So, yeah. But thank you for spending your time with me. It matters. It matters that you would choose to spend your time with me because, well, like they say, even, you know, bad attention is attention, right? So I appreciate that. Paul, are you back with us yet?
I'm here. Do you hear me?
Oh, I can hear you, but I can't see you.
Okay, okay. Let me come back. Okay, let me come back.
Okay. So this is the danger of having a live podcast. If you don't know, Hot Topics Live is live every time I do the podcast. The rest of the content you see, there's tons of content on the channel. The rest of the content that you see comes from my live episodes. So if you're watching live, you see the uncut, unedited version. And that's just what happens. Sometimes there's technical difficulties and we just power through it. So I hope you've been getting something from Paul's story. I think it's really amazing because it's to think that to be 19 of 21 children and then have to like slowly and realistically rise yourself out of poverty, like in a real way, like no sudden windfall of money, but you have to work. You have to put the work in every day to elevate yourself and just grow. And then to have the heart to turn around and want to share that with people, that is amazing. So here he is. He's back. Welcome back. Oh, and good. We can see you really good now because before you were a little bit fuzzy.
Oh, okay.
So, all right. So you shared with us the story about your when you were coaching basketball and the advice that you were that like sort of like the pep talk that you were giving to the team before you went out to win, right? And
Yes.
I think we can apply that same message of taking a time out to our own lives when we're feeling overwhelmed, right? We just have
Yes.
to
Yes.
regulate. We have to take that time to regulate our emotions. Now, was so since I can't see you, I couldn't tell if you were reading that from the book
Yeah.
or did you still
I
was that
was
your
reading it.
passage from the book?
Yeah, I was reading that from the book. So
Okay. Can you hold the book up one more time so we can see it? We have some people who
yes,
are wondering what you're talking about. Okay. So
this
for
is
those, yes. So that's the book. We're talking about how someone can start in such a big family and create a life that they love and inspire others. So I felt inspired by your speech. Tell me,
well.
so you go and do speeches as well, right? So
Yes.
tell me about that. Like how did you get involved in speaking engagements?
Well, I just decided after graduation it would be a great opportunity for me to work on my communication skills and also go into the inner city and inspire young men and women that education is important, and that if they want to change, they have to surround themselves with positive men and women that can elevate them in life. And so I love the Boys and Girls Club. I love the YMCA. I love speaking life into at risk youth, because I believe that a lot of these kids today needs to be inspired. They need some positive words inserted into their subconscious mind. And there's nothing wrong with that. And I know that, some people will hate on it, but hey, I'm just doing my job because I want to leave this world in a better place. So I'm going to continue to speak life into men and women life, because that's what somebody did to me, and all I'm doing is just passing it on to the next person.
Oh, I agree with you. I mean, I just think it's so important to share a positive message, right? This is why I have this whole platform, is just to share a message of, you know what? You can live your best life possible. You deserve to live the best life possible. If you're feeling, like you want something more out of life, it's important to have those people around you that speak life into you, that are uplift you, that are positive. This is why Hot Topics Live and the people who tune into Hot Topics Live are people who are about, positivity and want something more for themselves, or are those good energy type of people, because that those people sticking together and those people uplifting each other is how you get it done. Like having like that community, that support system of very, very positive people that just support each other and give positive energy and positive words, and that push that you need can really make the difference between, achieving your goals and not achieving your goals. And as a coach, like that's what I love to do. Like more than anything is to, now I do love a good clap back, but also more than that, I love to speak life into people. And what you said about the subconscious mind is so incredibly key, because it has to get in, right? Because we've been programmed a lot of times with a lot of negativity, and like maybe being hateful is the way to be, or just having low self esteem or low self worth, or just not feeling loved. Like there's so much that comes towards us as we're growing up that diminishes our shine and diminishes our hope. And so sometimes that subconscious work, like speaking that into people, is exactly what they need to help them push through and break through whatever barriers are holding them back from winning in life. So
Yep,
I
yep,
love your messaging. I think it's
yeah.
amazing.
And also I want to say this, that I want to emphasize about my mother's book, Love and Charity, the life story of Louise Hunter in the Love and Charity homeless shelter. So like I said earlier, it's Black History Month. And another thing that I want to say is that my mother, even though she's the first woman to birth 21 children by my dad, she also is the first woman to birth the first homeless shelter in the city of Racine, Wisconsin. So she
What a
did a
woman.
she did a tremendous job of helping out the community, so she's a warrior, she's a trailblazer. She is unique because she helped out thousands of men and women in the city of Racine, Wisconsin, and she could have said, nope, I'm not going to do this. And the reason why my mother decided to help people is because there were a time where my mother was pregnant with the 14th child, and one day the sheriff came knocking at the door and told my mom and my dad that they had 72 hours to vacate because it was too many people living in this two-bedroom house. So my mom and my dad decided to go to church on a Friday night. And so when they went to church, mom and dad told the pastor what had happened. So back in them days, they will surround you and put you inside this circle, and they will lay hands on you. And they were asking God for a urgent miracle to happen. Do you know a miracle happened? The next day, a man came knocking at the door. He wanted to show my father and mother an 18-bedroom house. Mom and dad went with the gentleman. They saw the 18-bedroom house. The man say, it's yours just for $1. Do you know,
Stop it.
I'm being honest with you, just for $1, 4 quarters, 100 pennies. My father and mother did not have any money at that time.
Oh,
So the man went into his wallet and gave my parents the dollar for the home. That home was a miracle home. That's what prompted my mother to want to start a homeless shelter, because somebody helped us when we were down and out. Now, you see what I was talking about, taking a time out? That's what my parents did. They took a time out and they said, you know what? We're going to see God. We're going to get an answer from God. And they got the answer. They got the miracle. And we call that house the miracle home of the Hunter family.
wow.
So, hey, I don't care what haters have to say, because we're live. God has always been good to the Hunter family, and we are going to continue to praise him and honor him and give him the glory, because miracles are happening every day.
They really do happen every day. I mean, but you see what you focus on,
Yes,
right? You
yes,
see
yeah,
you see what you focus on. And I mean, here, I'm open to all religions. So, maybe you don't say God, but say what works for you. It's the same energy.
yes,
And just know that, what you focus on is what you attract. Right. So if
yes,
you're putting, like I said earlier, if you're putting a lot of negativity out, if you're focused on negativity, that's what you're going to attract. Right. But if you're looking for those miracles and you see those miracles and you have a heart full of gratitude, you're going to find more and more, and even tiny ones in your daily life. You know, I mean, it could be a big one, like a 18-bedroom house for $1. That's incredible. And that's such
mm,
a inspiring story, right?
yes, yes, it is. And I want to let people know that I had an opportunity on this journey to meet Vivica A. Fox, to meet Dr. Phil, to meet Tavis Smiley. And what they did was they put me in a better position that I am today. I am in today because, in 2029, the movie of the Hunter family will be coming to the big screen. So, we don't care what haters say. That's why I tell people, always surround yourself with positive people, because
Mhm.
positive people are going to elevate you. Positive people are going to push you to the next level. So, you have my mother's book and you have my book has been adapted into a screenplay. 2029, the movie is coming out. The Hunter family excited. Our friends, family members, relatives, everybody are excited because we live in a city of about 95,000 people. And now, in 2029, the world is going to see the Hunter family story on the big screens.
Ah, that's so exciting. Congratulations. That's
Yes.
amazing. I'm going to go see it.
Yes.
I'm gonna, I'm gonna go see it. So now, and movies are expensive, and so I don't go to the theater unless I'm definitely gonna just do up the whole thing. Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it's gonna have to be a good movie, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I am definitely gonna go and see that. That's so exciting. You'll have to keep me posted.
You know why
Um,
I'm gonna keep you posted is because once they release it, I'm coming back on your podcast show, and we're gonna have some fun promoting the movie. You know,
I'm about that life. I'm here for
yeah,
all of it. I'm here for all of it. Because truly, I think that's amazing. I think that nowadays, because we don't have so many kids, right? Everyone's talking about how everyone's having less and less kids, that we don't remember what it was like when, my mom is out of 10, right? And I thought that was a lot, so, and then I think my little brother's dad had maybe something in the teens, maybe close to 20, but and you think that that's extraordinary, but to be able to see on the big screen a woman going through this process of raising these kids, and how just the sheer efficiency of how that had to be to keep order and to make sure everybody got to church on time and school on time and sports and whatever, you know what I mean? Like, just the sheer organization. She truly was the CEO of that life for you, for you all. And then to turn around and start a shelter, like,
Yes.
I am also on the board for a veterans not for profit. Actually, it's my little mug right here that they sent me. And we work with female veterans, right? Because I'm a veteran, and my heart is always in the place of getting veterans off the street. So that the fact that your mom started a homeless shelter is just so dear to my heart, because I don't like, the problem with homelessness in the United States is truly out of hand, and just there's no reason for it, right? So to see that after raising all of these amazing children, right, she had enough love in her heart to create something to help the community and give back and to help people get off the street. It is just extraordinary. I mean, I'll watch that movie. I'll watch that movie. I with my box of tissues, because it's going to be emotional. So I'm excited for you. So much has come from you going back to college, I feel like just that
Yes.
decision to go to school set you on this trajectory of, now you're an author, now you're a speaker, now your story is being brought to the screen. You've been in countless magazines, like countless articles written about you. Um I don't think that I said enough how extraordinary your story is and how many people feel the same as I do about it.
Yes, and that's the reason why I can say that I am so blessed, because just to have that opportunity to graduate from college and then sit back and think about how men and women had poured into my life, and how God has sent this man into my life to say, you're going to go back to college. Your books, your tuition, everything is going to be paid for. And you looking like, I don't want to go back to college. But then it happened. Then it happened. You understand? And then
Yeah.
doors doors started to open up. And one thing that I have to say is, I never gave up. I never in my life gave up on anything. I always had a winning attitude. I don't care how difficult a situation is. I always had a positive attitude to never give up, that things will change, and that things will get better if I just continue to stay on this journey and continue to be a positive person.
I love that. I love that. That is such a powerful and beautiful message, and exactly the kind of message that I love to have on this podcast, because it's what people need to hear. There's enough negativity out there. There's enough drama and trauma happening all around us. We need a break, right? We need a break. We need some positivity. We need, some love. We need some good energy to just feed our soul, right? Because there's so much toxic around us all the time, and so much coming at us through social media and everything, that we just sometimes need a place to go and hear positive things. So I love this message. Thank you so much for sharing it. Can you believe it's been an hour?
Yes, yes, yes. And you know what? Since it's been an hour, hey, people go out and purchase my mother's book, Love and Charity, The Life Story of Louise Hunter and the Love and Charity Homeless Shelter. Also go out and purchase my book, No Love, No Charity, The Success of the 19th Child. And if you want me to come and speak or do a book signing, please visit my website, paullamarhunter.com. paullamarhunter.com.
That's right. It's right here. I'll go back in and pin it into the comments later on. But definitely go check out those books. Go support this gentleman who is doing such good work with sharing such a positive message to so many people. So I just want to thank you so much, Paul, for being a guest on Hot Topics Live podcast and sharing your message and just being such a positive force for good in the world.
Hey, thank you for having me on. And I can't wait till the movie come out because I'm coming to your city with some of my siblings and we're going to have fun on your podcast show.
Outstanding. I can't wait. You just hit me up.
Okay.
and for now, I'm gonna put you back in the green room. If you can hang out, I'll come say goodbye in a couple of minutes. I'm gonna wrap up the show. And if not, I understand and I'll catch up with you later.
Okay.
Bye for now. Thanks again for
Bye
being
bye.
a guest. Wow, he's so sweet and lovely. And I just really enjoyed his message today. And I hope that you enjoyed it as well. You're going to have to forgive me for having to clap back. Every now and again, I have to clap back. Okay. Because I'm a human being. And you know what? It's rude. Someone's here sharing information, sharing their time, and people have to come on here and say negative things. So every now and again, I am going to have to clap back. So you're just going to have to bear with me. Sometimes I do it in the comments. Sometimes I just do it how I want because you know what? It's my platform. Okay. If you like pinup, for those of you that think I'm a man, which we know is just being rude and hateful, I'm not a man of two kids. If you were watching the podcast, you'd know that. I bore two children. This is my pinup. If you like pinup, then you want to prove that I'm a woman, go to my Instagram at Kiativy. You can see my pinup. I've been in 10 magazines, maybe 11. I think it's 11 now, you guys. If you want to purchase them, you can purchase them on print. These are all the places you can follow me if you're interested in doing that. And now it's that moment of the show where I do something special for you for sharing your time with me. I really appreciate you so much. Like I said, really, the hateful comments don't really affect me. I actually appreciate the attention. If someone's going to spend their time watching this podcast and making negative comments because they want attention, then maybe they're just missing something. So hopefully I help that person by giving them a little bit of love and attention today. Right? So take a deep breath with me. Okay? Let's take a deep breath together. And center. And what I have here are Soul Truth self-awareness card deck. So we're going to do a little special thing I do at the end of the show, which is a message. I don't know, from source, your God, Allah, Buddha. I don't know what you believe in, but I accept you. And so this message is going to be directly for you. Take what resonates, leave the rest. I'm going to shuffle up these cards now that my energy is all centered. Breath work is the key. And one is going to fly out like it just did, and that is going to be your message. I don't pick the card. It flies out, so it's totally random, so you know that it's for you, okay? This says today, what can I burn? Okay. Burn it. Burn it all. The ugly lies, the pain, the shame, the criticism, the images that run through your head, the reminders of what you did wrong, and the proof that you are not enough. Burn, baby, burn. Your soul is calling. It's time for a rebirth. You are like the phoenix rising from the ashes, no longer attached to the past. You are free. Your wings are ready. Use them. Today's soul action: make the choice that you will no longer let the past define you. Pick up your pen. What will your next chapter look like? Okay, my love. Hold on. A little glitch on my mic. What will your next chapter look like? If you could create anything you want, because as you know, you create your own perfect life, right? If you could create anything you want and you had nothing to fear, what would you create? Right? You deserve to be living your happiest life, whatever that is for you. And to achieve that, well, you just need to be able to envision it, number one, create a plan, a strategy, number two, and then take action steps. Sometimes tiny little steps, baby steps if you have to, but one little step and then the next right action and then the next right action until you get to where you want to go. Okay? Action is the answer. Massive action. Sometimes it's tiny, but that tiny action can help you do the next one and the next one and the next one. And when you celebrate those small wins, then it feels really good to your nervous system and you'll be encouraged to do more. So, I am a coach. I love coaching people and I love to throw that little stuff out there. I'm going to be doing a lot more little mini coaching sessions. It's different when you're with me. Obviously, it's a different flow, but on the podcast, I want to share with you. I just want to help if I can. And so I did one last week about people pleasing. It was more specific for a certain type of person because if you're not that type of person, it probably won't affect you the same. Like you won't really get it, right? If you are, then you'll probably quit people pleasing that very day after watching that episode. So I'm going to do more of that. I'm working on my self-sabotage alchemy course right now. So if you want any information about that, you want to help in its development and maybe get some free coaching out of that, then you should hit me up on Instagram. Send me a DM and let me know that you're interested in that, and I'll reach out and we can connect and go from there. Well, I will be back next week with another episode. So you should definitely set your notifications so that you know when I come live. I pop on here sometimes at random, like whenever. And whenever I am inspired. And you want to set your notification so you know when I come live. I really appreciate you spending this time with me. I really hope you enjoyed the guest. I have a lot more great guests planned, and I'm doing more solos now too. Check out all the content. I'm redoing everything in March. So by April, I really feel like this channel will be current in 2026. And so I'm really working hard on that. So I hope you enjoy it. Check out the playlists. Leave me some feedback. Drop me a comment. I read them. Obviously, I read them right while I'm live. So, and let's definitely hang out some more. I love spending time with you, and I love when you engage. So, let's do that. And don't let haters get you down. People don't hate down, right? Nobody's hating on a homeless person. People hate up. Remember that. I love you guys. I'll talk to you next time. Bye for now.